Okay, what's good, guys? It's 2025-2026 season for Barcelona, and obviously you know we're expecting all that drama. It's Barcelona at the end of the day, like it's always drama with Barcelona. So yeah, but before I go into the match with Real Mallorca, sorry that this is coming like this. I just wanted to, sort of do this sort of just previews before the match and then do a review after the match. So you lot tell me what you think about it. But yeah, just before we go into the match, I just wanted to do a bit of a recap of what happened last season, because it was a crazy season. I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of things happened last season and I think like when you look back at what we were able to achieve, I think we get some credit, but I don't think we get all of the credit that we deserve, because you have to understand last season was crazy. Amidst all the financial and administrative drama that was going on, off the pitch, I think where we really captivated the minds of people, all around the world, of football lovers all around the world, was mainly in what we did on the pitch and the amazing footballers that we just keep producing. Like, do you get what I mean? I feel like that's where we really shined. And to be honest, I know it hurt us a bit. Obviously not getting to that Champions League final. It just seemed, the season started off, we didn't know what to expect. Along the line, we started feeling like, oh my God, this might actually be Barcelona's season. That's how it felt. And I think a lot of people were actually, rooting for us to get to that final. And it would have been an amazing final against PSG. And regardless of what the outcome would have been, I think it would have been an amazing final. But as fate will have it, it didn't happen. But what I want to say is, I think like we did a good job. We did an amazing job, actually. It was a spectacular season. And, Hansi Flick turned out to be our most important signing, which is funny, but it's Barcelona at the end of the day, like expected, unexpected. It was a season of ups and downs. It was a season that ended at the end of the day, like ended on a high note. We saw the revelation of Lamine Yamal, Cubarsí, and also Marc Casado, because I don't think he gets enough credit, but he had an amazing season as well. We also saw people like Frankie de Jong and Pedri come back to their immaculate best, especially after injuries, because obviously there was a point where he felt like it looked like he was headed for the door, and then he just rediscovered that form, and it took a while. I think Flick sort of trusted him and, sort of like let him know that, look, it will take time, but you will get there. And I think we've seen that with Gavi as well, because obviously over pre-season, he's been quite impressive. Fermin Lopez as well has been somebody that has been impressive as well over pre-season. And I think, Raphinha had an amazing season. Like, that can't be overstated. And I feel like if we'd made it to that final, things might be different with regards to the Ballon d'Or, because I think like he had a Ballon d'Or worthy year. But at the end of the day, it's football. Sometimes one match can decide everything. And I think that's exactly, what the case was for Raphinha. But we're not going to dwell on the past, as much as we had those disappointments. I think like winning that domestic treble was a great achievement as well. So I think we do have things that we could celebrate. I think we do have things to be grateful and thankful for. At the end of the day, we're entering a new season, and from what I've seen from pre-season, I think that we're looking good. We're looking good. I don't want to be negative. I think the only issue that I'm seeing is in the defense. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to start with, with regards to the match against Mallorca. We've already lost Inigo Martinez. Unprecedented. Like, no one saw that coming, but we lost Inigo Martinez. And I would say that he might have been our best defender last season. I know some people are going to also talk about, Cubarsí as well. I just think that there's some key moments when Cubarsí lost his head a bit. The game against Benfica, I think, the game against Inter as well with that penalty. I think obviously he's a young player, amazing player, but obviously he's a young player. Not going to compare in terms of experience with somebody like Inigo Martinez, which I think is something that we are going to miss this season. So I think sometimes there's those matches that you just need a calm head. You just need a leader at the back. And also John Garcia, who's our goalkeeper that we've just signed. Hopefully we're able to register him now that Ter Stegen's given his signature for us to send his injury report to La Liga. But I think, John Garcia is also a young goalkeeper. So we don't really have a lot of experience at the back. So for me, against Mallorca, we're going to be looking at John Garcia in the goal. Right back is obviously Koundé. Left back is going to be Bardghji. Now, the two guys in the centre, from now, it's looking like it's going to be Araujo and Cubarsí. Now, obviously, I've seen Flick use Gerard Martin in defence, which at first we didn't understand, but I think, we later understood that that was because of, Inigo Martinez leaving and somebody needs, I think Flick is just really trying out whatever works at the moment at the back. But the only encouragement that I'm taking from this is Barcelona has never really been a team that relies too much on defence. If you look at our most successful years, it's always been down to how we're able to overcome in attack, how much goals we score, how we're able to outscore or just overwhelm the opponent with possession football and just being devastating in attack. So I think that is something that we can hold on to. That being said, I do think that in the modern game, a bit of defensive, strength is important. A bit of solidity in defense is important. In midfield, I will be going for Frankie de Jong and Pedri, obviously. And then just in front of them, for me, it'll be Fermin Lopez. And I think, obviously, Dani Olmo is injured, I think. So that leaves Gavi and that leaves Fermin Lopez. But I'm going to go for Fermin because I think Flick would want to start strong. I think, this is the first game of the season and we're not playing at home as well. So I think that attacking intent, we need to demonstrate that right from the get-go. So I'm going to go with Fermin because of what I've seen him do. Do you get what I mean? I've seen him do amazing stuff. Obviously, in pre-season, he got those goals against Como. He's just been, I think this is going to be a huge, a revelational season for him. I think this is going to be a big season for him as long as he can stay healthy, and he looks like it. And I think he's been pretty decent in terms of injuries. He doesn't really get too many injuries. If you look at our squad, he's not really one of those fringe players or players that are not that don't stay healthy. So I think he might give us. I'm having really big hopes for Fermin this season. Now, obviously, in attack, I'm going to go for Lamine Yamal, Raphinha, and to be honest, with this injury to Lewandowski, I don't know who to actually go for. I would say to start with Ferran Torres, just because he's got more of a history. Before Marcus Rashford, I think putting Marcus Rashford, with the pressure. Also, I think that he might all settle the team a bit as well, because I think that there's already a chemistry there. So it might unsettle the team on the pitch and off the pitch as well, because that might be sending a message to Ferran Torres that, now we've just gotten a new person to, we've gotten someone else to replace you, and so you're no longer that important. I don't think that would be the right thing to do. So I think we're going to go with Lamine Yamal, Raphinha, and Ferran Torres in front. And I think depending on how the game goes on, we can then bring in, we could bring in Rashford later. We can move things around. We can bring in Gavi to, add a bit of stability to the team. And Marc Casado's available as well. So I think even Bernal is available. I don't think he's going to be used in this match. I think Bernal, we need to let him ease his way back into the team. There's no rush. So that's my starting lineup. If you have a different opinion on who you think should start, maybe around our defense or around our midfield with regards to Fermin, are you going to start Gavi instead? Let me know in the comments. Now, kickoff time is obviously 18:30 GMT on Saturday, the 16th of August. Okay, so if we move on to predictions, I think for me, I'm going to predict a 4-1 scoreline. Just because I think Real Mallorca, they've not really been that much of a threat to us in recent times. I think you need to go back to 2009 to the last time they actually won. We've met 40 times, we've won 29, drawn 5, and lost only 6. And I think 2009 was the last time that we lost 1-0 to them, and that was when Guardiola was still in charge. So it's been a pretty long time. So I'm expecting a heavy defeat. Actually, not as heavy as last season. Obviously, last season we won 5-1. I'm going to predict 4-1. You let me know your predictions. I'm going to predict 4-1. So we'll see. But yeah, after the match, I'm obviously going to be back here. Sorry that this video is a bit disjointed. I needed to get to work, but I just wanted to come in here and just sort of like do a bit of a preview before the match, and then we can come back after the match to have a proper discussion. So do let me know what you think in the comments. Who's going to be your starting lineup? What's your predictions? What are you hoping to see? And hopefully we can build this community and sort of grow from here. So yeah, see you after the match, guys. Fisca Barça.